They will then be capped, that's a wee doff on the head, by the Chancellor, and hooded by the Bidellus, and collect their certificate parchment from the registrar as they leave the platform. Court medal winners will also collect their prize and certificate as they leave the platform. University prizes will also be presented today by Mr. Ian Welsh, Chair of Court. You will all have someone special that you're here to support, but all our graduands are special, so please give enthusiastic applause for each and every graduand as they come up to the platform. We do ask, however, that we do this just once for each of them as they come up to be capped, so that we can all hear the name of the next graduand being called. When the last graduate has left the stage, there will be a response by the honorary graduate on behalf of all those receiving awards, followed by a few closing remarks by the Chancellor. The platform party will then leave the stage and exit the hall, followed by the graduates. Please stand when the platform party stands and remain standing until all our graduates have left the hall. After the ceremony, we would like to welcome you all to our graduation reception in the marquee on the campus. Should you need any assistance during the ceremony, please make yourself known to one of our marshals in the aisles or at the back of the hall. So have your cameras ready and your mobile phones on silent, please, and we'll begin at 2:30. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to the University of the West of Scotland and to this magnificent church, where I hope this afternoon we're going to have a joyous celebration of the tremendous achievement of your loved ones. And to do that, I hope that you will make sure that your voices as well as your clapping is heard for every student that comes across this stage. And it now falls on me to declare this ceremony for the award of academic distinctions to be in session.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, but most importantly, graduands, the UWS class of 2015. My name is Craig Mahoney, and it's my great pleasure as Principal and Vice-Chancellor of the University to welcome you to today's graduation. In the words of Buzz Luhrmann, if I could offer you one tip for the future, but I'll stop there because we're in Scotland. My advice wouldn't be, as Buzz suggested in 1997, to wear sunscreen. My tip would be to have fun and don't ever give up. UWS graduation is the most important day in the university calendar. Our students are at the heart of our university, and it's a privilege and an honour for me and my colleagues to share this day with you, our students, and also with your families and friends. Whilst these are days of celebration, it is right that graduation ceremonies reflect suitable traditions. But I want to encourage you today to raise the roof as each graduate makes their way across the stage. Please don't hold back. We may be in a church, but I would encourage you to clap, shout, scream as you feel the need to encourage that loved one. To the graduands, don't be afraid. Please don't be afraid. This is just a very small walk across here. It's not a 60-yard dash. So enjoy the moment, soak it up, even with your sweaty palm. This is your time. And just to remind you, we are live streaming, so this is going out on YouTube. You can watch it later. We're currently experiencing a volume of around 200 people watching externally. So give them a wave. Now, the life journey to the ceremony today will be different for each of you, but almost certainly your family and friends have been part of that support network. It's only right that they're here to enjoy and join in the celebration, as I know how valuable their support will have been. Today, your family will be immensely proud of you, and you can't imagine the relief they are experiencing as a result of you successfully completing your degree. And speaking from first-hand experience, I can advise that now is probably the perfect time to ask them for money. Today, of course, marks the start of a new chapter in your lives, a time of great opportunity and the next step in your journey. It may be daunting for those of you entering the workplace for the first time, but each and every one of you can embrace the challenge and the many opportunities that will inevitably come your way. You've already shown during your time here at UWS you have the skills, the knowledge, and the personal attributes needed to launch your career and make an impact on the world. I hope you'll look back on your time here at UWS fondly and encourage and inspire others to follow in your footsteps. As you now spread your wings to pursue opportunities wherever you go, please keep in touch with UWS, your alma mater, and share your journey with us. Now, one of my real privileges in this job is to get to meet students from across the university and hear their inspiring learning journeys. At UWS, the success of our students is vital, and we pride ourselves on being a highly student-focused university. With over 2.5 million students studying at universities across the UK and nearly 16,000 here at UWS, the importance of universities, students to universities, and the wider economy is enormous. You are the future. It is people like you that will shape our society ahead. Now, universities are like small towns, and they're involved in many activities. We encourage our staff and students to be engaged in a variety of life-enhancing activities like sport, music, volunteering, languages. At UWS, we're passionate about our students' sporting excellence, and I was personally very proud to have 5 UWS students participating in last year's Commonwealth Games, alongside more than 100 staff and student volunteers from the university. One of our Glasgow 2014 athletes, badminton player Rebecca Finlay, is currently in South Korea at the World University Games, the second largest multi-sport games in the world after the Olympics. Through volunteering, UWS has made positive impact on our communities, and just last week I presented a £1,000 cheque to Olivia Giles, herself an honorary graduate of UWS, for the 500 Miles charity she runs. One of my roles today is to give a few examples of lessons in life. I'm never sure I've got anything worthwhile in terms of advice to give, because after all, each of us will follow a very personal journey, and no one experience is better than another. When I graduated, I never really understood what my life journey might offer me. Growing up on a farm in a small community in Tasmania, it was never expected I'd spend a large part of my life on the other side of the world, or that I might lead a university. So I hope your time here at UWS has encouraged you to dream, to believe, to achieve. As Mark Twain has been attributed to saying, 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones that you did so. So I advise all of you to seize every opportunity that comes your way. Now, the place of your upbringing will have had huge influence in shaping your personality and self-image. It will be a place which many of you will return to again and again and again. My high school, in a small village in Tasmania called Ulverston, has a population of only 10,000 people, but I go back there every year. It's the place from which I have great memories: holidays, swimming at the beach, shearing sheep, mountain climbing, playing sport, first concert, first girlfriend, first job, and of course those Australian characteristics we all know: sharks, snakes, redback spiders, and sunny days. Wherever you decide, or whatever you decide to do after you leave here, you now have a platform to go out and make a real and lasting impact in the world. The truly exciting thing about life is that there is no core curriculum. The entire thing is elective, so you can dream big and never give up. The late Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple, summed it up best when he said, "Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do." Now, from today, you become part of the alumni of the university, the honorary members of a select organisation, the UWS Alumni Association. Use that association to network, to stay in touch with friends and with the university. We'll be emailing you in the next few weeks to let you know how. I hope that my address hasn't added weight to the theory that graduation speeches were invented largely in the belief that graduates should never be released into the world until they've been properly sedated. But on behalf of my colleagues, I'd like to wish each and every one of you a very happy and enjoyable day, and to encourage our graduates great success, health and happiness for the future. Make choices, make a difference, have fun, and you won't go far wrong. And occasionally, just occasionally, wear sunscreen. Thank you.
Chancellor, it is my privilege to present to you, for the honorary degree of Doctor of the University, Anne Houston, OBE. Anne was born in Glasgow in August sometime, and spent her first 4 years living with her parents in Denison before moving to Bishopbriggs in preparation for the birth of her younger brother, Stuart. Anne attended Bishopbriggs High, a school she later worked in as a lab technician. Anne's father worked in the Trustees Savings Bank as a branch manager long before it became Lloyd's, and her mother was a bookkeeper, which perhaps is why Anne and her brother went on to study mathematics-based subjects. With the intention of becoming a teacher, Anne started a BSc in Natural Philosophy at Strathclyde University in 1971, leaving after her second year with passes in maths and physics, having made the decision that this form of study was not for her. She had a brief 3 months as an executive officer in Research and Intelligence Unit at the Scottish office based in Edinburgh before returning to Glasgow to work in East Bank Academy in Shettleston as a lab technician, moving 2 years later to senior lab technician post at Bishopbriggs High. Anne studied day release and achieved an HNC in Applied Physics and Electronics with the then Glasgow College of Technology. After what Anne refers to as a poor job move, she was unemployed for 6 months with no clear idea of what to do next. The shortened version of events is that Anne took a job creation post as an IT officer when IT meant intermediate treatment in Maryhill, working with young people at risk of offending and or being received into care. It was a 1-year post and Anne loved it. She discovered this was really what she wanted to do. Anne then had another job creation post for a further year as project manager of a youth information and counselling project in Glasgow city centre, prior to joining the Certificate of Qualification in Social Work course at what was then Jordan Hill College. Anne qualified as a social worker in 1980 and moved to work in Southampton for 6 years, initially as a generic social worker in the Shirley area team, but gradually specialising in work with children, young people and their families. Her very first case as a rookie social worker involved serious child sexual abuse, not much acknowledged in those days. In 1983, she was appointed as the intermediate treatment officer for the area team, which was a new post, moving a year later to a team leader post in the first intermediate treatment centre in Hampshire, which Anne helped to develop. She worked with older young people, providing structured programmes as an alternative to custodial sentences for those with serious offending behaviour. Returning to Glasgow in 1986, Anne spent the next 4 years as project manager and tutor managing the Richmond Fellowship residential therapeutic community for adults who had been in psychiatric hospital, also running training for the Richmond Fellowship College in London. Anne describes this as an amazing learning experience with no hiding place as a staff member within a therapeutic community. 1 minute she would be running a large therapeutic group or counselling someone about their horrendous experiences of childhood sexual abuse, and the next cleaning the toilets alongside the community members. In 1990, Childline was being launched in Scotland, focused at that time heavily on child sexual abuse. In the Richmond Fellowship community, 65% of women spoke about having been sexually abused in childhood, as did 35% of men. Many had previously tried to speak to psychiatrists and other professionals, but were frequently told this had nothing to do with their mental health difficulties and just to move on. Anne was keen to be able to make a difference earlier in a person's life in the hope that they would not ultimately need psychiatric help as an adult. Anne was appointed as Childline Scotland's first counselling manager, responsible for developing the confidential telephone counselling service for any child or young person with any problem, a radical service at that point. This was an exciting opportunity, and Anne held a number of posts within Childline over the next 17 years. Director of Childline Scotland from 1994, Director of Scotland and Deputy Chief Executive Childline UK from 2003 until the merger with NSPCC in early 2006. Anne was then appointed to the new post of Director Childline UK within NSPCC, with the responsibility for all Childline services across the UK and for the smooth integration of those organisations. During the years at Childline, Anne was proud to develop the telephone counselling service, along with volunteer recruitment and training programmes, ultimately managing all of the functions, including fundraising. However, on a personal level, Anne reflects her greatest achievements relate to speaking with the voice of children, influencing policy and practice development based on children and young people's direct experiences, views and ideas. Anne was privileged to listen to and support thousands of children on the phone, and to her surprise, some of her most intensive counselling work took place in the relative safety of the child and the phone call, rather than on a face-to-face basis. Childline's experiences significantly contributed to changing adults' understanding of what children and young people are capable of, as well as their understanding of some of the dreadful things that children experience and how they cope. While at Childline Scotland, Anne was a founding member of the Association of Chief Officers of Scottish Voluntary Organisations and the Scottish Alliance of Children's Rights. In 2007, Anne was appointed as Chief Executive of Children First, another charity which believes in influencing public policy to make a positive difference on the lives of vulnerable children and families. Whilst at a distance from direct work with children and families, Anne was able to play a key leadership role on a range of children's issues and more widely on the third sector. As a result of listening to and involving many children and families with whom the charity works, Children First has been able to support and contribute to the agenda on public sector reform and the shift towards preventative spending in children's service design and delivery. Anne chaired, on behalf of the Scottish Government, the multidisciplinary task group that developed the common core skills of knowledge and understanding and values of the children's workforce in Scotland, applying now to all individuals who work with children, was a member of the Government National Awareness Reference Group on Child Protection and of Tayside Police Steering Group and the then Association of Police Chief Officers in Scotland National Steering Group for Keeping the Children Safe programme. And also chaired, on behalf of the Scottish Social Services Council, the group tasked with developing the new qualification for residential childcare workers, an output of the National Inquiry into Residential Childcare. Until she retired at the end of June 2014, Anne was a member of the Scottish Government National Task Force on Early Years, led the National Partners arm of the Early Years Collaborative, chaired the Justice for Children Alliance, was a board member of the Coalition of Care and Support Providers in Scotland, and chair of the Children's Committee, a member of the Crown Office Expert Group on Sexual Crime, and sat on the judging panel of Scotland's annual legal awards. During her tenure, a key area of further development for Children First was collaborative working, through, for example, the big lottery-funded the D Early Intervention Project, which is a partnership between the local authority and 4 children's organisations. Children's First was named as lead partner in 5 public social partnerships in early years around Scotland. Anne was surprised and proud to be shortlisted for Public Campaigner of the Year in the Herald Politician of the Year Awards in 2013, and for the Charity Champion of the Year in the SCVO Charity Awards in 2014. Since retiring, Anne has been appointed to the Care Inspectorate Board and is the first independent chair of North Ayrshire's Child Protection Committee. In January 2005, she also took on the role of chair of the Scottish Child Protection Committee's Chairs Forum and sits on a number of Scottish Government and other working and advisory groups. In a voluntary capacity, she remains vice chair of the Connacht Charitable Trust, providing funds for charities working with disadvantaged children and families in earliest years of a child's life. As a member of the judging panel of the Annie Howe Heroism Awards, acknowledging the amazing acts of heroism by young people with additional needs, and is in the Social Investment Scotland Social Growth Fund Credit Committee. Anne is a Fellow of the Royal Society of Arts. Anne was very surprised and honoured to be awarded an OBE for services to children and young people in the 2015 New Year's Honours List. In accepting this honour, Anne would acknowledge that such recognition is shared with many people. Without their support, Anne would note that she would not have achieved any of the changes that have been achieved over the years. And particularly, Anne openly acknowledges and celebrates the amazing children and young people that allowed her a glimpse into their lives, their often horrific and distressing circumstances, their views on what could make a difference for other children, and also their humour, resilience and hopes for the future. On a lighter note, Anne became the proud owner of a wee black and white cockapoo pup called Indy. The first few months of the new puppy were a much bigger job than she remembers from the past, but the pup has now settled down and Anne is having lots of fun and exercise, doing more walking than she has done for years. This last year has been very different for Anne, with amazing feedback, which I think unfortunately only tends to happen when you retire or make big changes in your life. It has also offered Anne fabulous occasions with family and friends. Anne is really touched that her brother Stuart, sister-in-law Sharon, and her two lovely nieces Rebecca and Lisa have been able to share in many of these celebratory occasions with her. Accordingly, Chancellor, for services to the most vulnerable in society, I would now present to you for the award of Honorary Degree of Doctor of the University, Anne Houston, OBE.
Chancellor, on behalf of the School of Business and Enterprise, I present to you for the degree of Bachelor of Accounting, Sandwich Award with Honours, Hannah Morris. And for the degree of Bachelor of Accounting with First Class Honours, the following students: Mariam Rabia Azam. Matthew Hamilton Blum. Ram Cunningham. Wendy Dudazile George. Rebecca Meharry Hutchinson. David Lonsdale. Sophia Mahmood. William Henry Mullin. And for the degree of Bachelor of Accounting with Honours, Isaac Akinhora. Adris Ahmed. Zubair Ali. Ilknur Alim. Joanna Marie Bushfield. Alison Carr. Ikra Chowdhury. Amy Connell. Brian E. Connor. Lucy Coulter. Siobhan Mary Donaldson. Claire Donnelly. Lynn Erskine. Claire Fabu Sobse. Rachel Marie Fletcher. Mohammed Bilal Gundal. Alistair Gray. Marta Maria Hanslick. Javad Hussain. Kasim Hussain. Humza Iqbal. Fatima Jamshed. Junaid Javid. Alexandra Scott McKellen Klein. Aaron Alexander Kerr. Saban Khan. Samantha Frances Charlene Kirkpatrick. Joanna Lask. Gavin Lindsay. Rachel Jane Lindsay. Jennifer Patricia Little. Jane Longworth. Emma Rose Mackey. Jenna McKee. Charles McMillan. Gary McWee. Usman Minhas. Manana Murast. Alan Napier. Abdul Mohammed Nasri. Vivian Negendo. Rebecca Pollock. Danielle Richards. Stacey Robertson. Sasha Robin. Daniel Shields. Rohan Singh. Suraj Singh. Nikki Smith. Jade Sweeney. Sameh Samit Sang. Jill Elizabeth Walker. Shannon Heather Ann Webster. Amanda Whitelock. And finally, Connor Wilson.
Chancellor, on behalf of the School of Media, Culture and Society, I present to you for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with a thesis entitled Oscar Fissinger, The Expansion of the Senses, Marco Joseph Federici. And for the degree of Master of Science, Alcohol and Drug Studies, Kieran Hamilton. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Politics and Psychology with honours, Gemma Lucinda Armitage. Leanne Bryson. William McLean. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Politics and Social Policy with first-class honours and winner of the Court Medal, Andrew James McGowan. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Politics and Social Policy with honours, Louise Fiona Bell. Scott Brian Cochtry. Jade Gilchrist McFarland. Gemma Margaret McCreth. Mary McLean. Marcus Robert Milne. Mary Frances Rafferty. Heather Smart. David Smith. Ailey Jane Smith. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Politics and Sociology with honours, Ailey Harvey. Zaim Haq Mirza. Samuel Morgan. John Gerard O'Donnell. Ian Shepherd. Ross Turner. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Psychology with first class honours and winner of the Court Medal, Stacey Ann Vienserts. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Psychology with first class honours, the following students: Jason James Abrow. Christine Bryceland. Leanne Chapman. Melissa Johnston. Samantha Sarah McAdam. Daniel Raymond Mackay. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts Psychology with honours, Nazia Aslam. Rebecca Joyce Bald. Carolyn Blakely. Kaylee Dawn Cassells. Anthony Paul Michael Daly. Nicole Flynn. Cheryl Gibb. James Andrew Grant. Lindsay Claire Hamilton. Robin Margaret Johnston. Robin Jane Johnston. Hardeep Kaur. Shannon Marie Mackenzie. Melissa Rose McLeod. Katrina Sharon McNichol. Rachel Rose McCulloch. Danielle Mulroney. Kirsten Murray. Amanda Maria Randos. Lauren Elaine Reid. Debbie Smiley. Alan Matthew Smith. Stuart Andrew Thompson. Zoe Williams. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Psychology and Politics with Honours, Alyssa Beattie. Alana June Brown. Michael Robert Kerr. Mariam Naheem. Mediha Rafiq. Emma Ram Sangre. Fuzaya Yusuf. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Psychology and Social Policy with Honours, Laura Catherine Majuri. Ben Harry Patrick. Asiya Raymond. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Psychology and Sociology with Honours, Sarah Ansani. Samantha Campbell. James Nathan Wood. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Social Policy and Politics with first class honours and winner of the Court Medal, Andrew James Davenport. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Social Policy and Politics with first class honours, Scott James McInnes. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Social Policy and Politics with honours, Taryn Jade Roberts. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Social Policy and Psychology with honours, Roseanne Hutchison. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Social Policy and Sociology with honours, Sabina McCrossan. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Social Science with honours, Megan Walsh. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Social Work with first class honours and winner of the Court Medal, Anthony Miller. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Social Work with first class honours, the following students: Anthony Michael McHugh. Donna Elizabeth Muir. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Social Work with honours, Zoe Baird. Nicola Brogan. James William Brown. Ainsley Buchanan. Nicole Burke. Claire Catherine Campbell. Katie Carlisle. Lauren Shankly Dawson. Helen Deacon. Natasha Rutherford Edgar. Emma Louise Farron. Kirsty MacLeod. Kathleen Mathers. Emma Louise Mayhew. Kirsty McChrystal. Nicole Potter. Monica Remizewska. Lisa Margaret Tervitt. Darlene Helen Wright. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts Sociology with Honours and winner of the Court Medal, Julianne Caroline Wigfield. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts Sociology with Honours, Dominique Louise Devlin. Janet Grace Dixon. Katerina Georgiou. John Lodge. Melanie Louise Martin. Tracy Stewart. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Sociology and Politics with Honours, Liam Bennett. Kirsty Marie Keane. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Sociology and Psychology with honours and winner of the Court Medal, Amy Kennedy McEwen. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Sociology and Psychology with honours, Rebecca Elizabeth Main. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Sociology and Social Policy with honours, Kira Irvin. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Creative Industries Practice, Theo Bryce Watson. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Politics and Social Policy, Alan Bunyan. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Politics and Sociology, Mary Melvin Nugent. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Psychology, Christina Daniela O'Hare. And finally, for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Psychology and Social Policy, Bryony Julia O'Neill. And now, Chancellor, it gives me great pleasure to present to you our Paisley Campus Prize winners. The Alan Donaldson Politics Dissertation Prize for the Best Undergraduate Politics Dissertation is awarded to Marcus Robert Milne. And the British Psychological Society BPS Prize for the Best Graduate on all undergraduate psychology degrees is awarded to Stacey Ann Vienseerts. And finally, the Morag Faulds Prize for Excellence in Fieldwork Practice in Final Year Social Work is awarded to Donna Elizabeth Muir.
Chancellor, graduates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm pleased to say also some children. What a wonderful celebratory event, celebrating inspirational achievement. This is a very proud day for each of us here, whether we're receiving an award, sharing the day with someone who is, or having played some part in their success. I have been surprised to have been honoured in this way for doing something that I love. As you've heard, I've worked with and for vulnerable people, particularly children and young people, for almost 40 years. I consider myself to have been really lucky to have almost fallen into this career. I wished I could have claimed it was a successful grand plan, but no such thing. I had some false starts at the beginning, but any mistakes along the way have only stood me in good stead. I learned from them and became more able to distinguish what felt right for me and where I felt I can have some positive influence. The reality is that every job and area of work has its challenges and its grind. However, if you're fortunate enough to find something you love to do, and you're able to get up every morning and feel enthusiastic about at least most of the day ahead, you won't go far wrong. So if I can offer one bit of advice to those of you at an earlier stage in your career, it would be to be open to new experiences, to find what it is that really speaks to you, that gets you excited and that makes you want to learn and do more. Don't settle for okay. You've come this far, you can go much further if you follow your aspirations. Who knows where your experiences will take you, what more you're capable of, what more you may have to celebrate in the future. I certainly would never have anticipated standing here today. So I wish you all you'd wish yourselves for the future. So I would just like to thank, on behalf of everyone today, the University of the West of Scotland for your input to the achievements we've witnessed today and for this wonderful event to mark the progress. The rest is up to each of us. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your great support to our graduates today. They were magnificent, and it seems to me that you probably feel all clapped out now after that, but I think that the support, the love and the money probably you've had to give them over many years is something which needs to be recognised, because these graduates did not get this wonderful achievement on their own. They did it because of you, because of your love, your support, which I'm sure you'll continue to give them over many years. And to recognise that, I'm asking the graduates, if you get to your feet, try and get your eyes straight on your family so that you can see them. If you can't see your family because they're around the corner, shout as loudly as you can and give them the thanks that they've been giving you all day today. And before you sit down, there's some people up here on this stage who've helped you magically get from your entry date to your graduation today magically because of the inspiration, the learning that they've given you, some little bon mot that will be there in a lecture they've given you, you'll be using in years to come, and you'll be very pleased that you know these people and that you continue to know them. The faculty of the University of the West of Scotland. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings me to closing this award for the Awards of Distinction, Academic Distinctions. And in doing so, can I invite you all to join us at the marquee just at the back of the campus while the renovations are taking place. It's well signposted. If not, you'll be able to follow the trail of people on its way, and the smell of food and alcohol will bring you over here. Have a lovely day, each and every one of you, and thank you so much for participating in this very, very happy ceremony. Thank you.